Hello indie fans and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're looking at A Slower Speed of Light. This was a recommendation from a viewer, sent me this one in email. I don't know that you want me to mention your name or not. That's actually something I should let you guys know. If you do want me to mention your name if you send me a recommendation, just let me know that in the email as well. I don't want to cross any lines if you don't want me to. But this one is supposed to be very interesting, very psychedelic, very bright, and also very seizure-inducing. It actually had a pretty big, bold seizure warning right at the beginning when I first started it up. So I do want to make that very clear for you guys who might have trouble with epilepsy and have a history of such things. May not want to watch this one, or if you do, you may want to be ready to close the window immediately if it gets particularly bad. I have not seen even a second of this gameplay, so I have no idea exactly how bad it's going to get. But I do know that I've never had seizures from playing games. In fact, I've spent a lot of time staring at flashing lights, which may be why I'm so brain damaged and play crazy games now. I don't know. I used to do Winamp visualizers constantly, and they would basically devolve into just endless streams of flashing lights. So I just want to put up the credits for you guys real quick. MIT Game Lab, so it should be pretty serious. And our options menu, very simple. They recommend if you have trouble with epilepsy, maybe try desaturated colors, which I'm kind of curious to know what that looks like as well, but maybe we should see the saturated colors first. This is a Unity game. As always, you know how much I love those. Let's just get into it. I don't know how much there is to say since I haven't seen it yet. Once upon a time in a quiet village there was a little child. By the way, I like this character design. It sort of reminds me a little bit of the main character of Journey, which is a game that I kind of would love to show on this series, except it's for PS3 exclusively, at least for now. Not sure it'll ever be on anything else, but if it ever does come to computer, be sure that I'll play it. I've played it quite a bit on my PS3, but like I've mentioned in the past, I'm a little apprehensive about doing console games on this series just because I want it to mostly be about PC games in general. There might be a side series, there might be some sort of derivative thing someday. I do have the PVR now, but I don't have the cables properly for my PS3. Anyway, I digress. Sadly, the little girl fell into death's icy grip far too soon. That's sad. Starting with a very tragic beginning. I love the art aesthetic here. It's very, it's got a wondrous element to it. Everything's very vibrant. There's sort of a bloom effect on all the characters, it seems, and the color palette is very nice as well. A little child's spirit began the journey to climb, to become one with the light. But the speed of light was too fast for the small and clumsy little spirit. Well, this is just sad. Luckily, the spirit world is full of magical orbs that slow down light. Oh, love the background here. Collect orbs to slow down light to walking speed so you can finally move on. Wow, that's a kind of a dark beginning here. See how many orbs you've collected, compare your own speed to the speed of light. Alright, that makes perfect sense. Even the UI looks quite nice and refined. These little lines going on in the bottom here look nice. Wow, we've even got the color spectrum. As light gets slower, you'll start to see beyond what humans can typically see. Alright, this sounds like it's going to be amazing. WASD to move, look with the mouse, and escape for options. I got that covered. So I do want to mention just very briefly, tonight is actually the night of the American presidential election. And it's about 8:30 right now when I'm recording this, and I am doing so somewhat apprehensively because I'd sort of like to be watching all this poll data come in, but at the same time I'm aware there's actually another storm about to hit my area, so I actually kind of need to record a whole bunch of episodes really quickly before that happens. I don't like to generally talk much about what's going on in my personal life. I don't feel that it really has a place with these videos, but I just wanted to mention that very quickly. So our movement is very floaty, actually. I wasn't really expecting the graphic style to look like this. I actually feel like I'm controlling one of the ships from Descent or something. There's a very long sense of momentum when you let go of the W key before you stop scrolling or moving. It feels like we're going through a watermelon patch or something here, picking up all these orbs. So we want to get as many of these as possible, which should be quite easy actually. There doesn't seem to be anything in our way stopping us other than our own movement abilities. We're looking around. I'm trying to see what's changing, if anything, as I pick these up. Alright, colors are definitely changing. I want to outrun the speed of light. So I guess I should probably be running through this track sort of like a time trial or something. Like we're free running a Mirror's Edge level or map or whatever you want to call it. The little spiral design is sort of reminding me a little bit of Naruto or something. Or there was that, what is it, a manga about spirals that kill people or something. I don't remember what it was called. I'm sure someone will name it in the description. So I think the way I'm supposed to be doing this is actually be running through this at full speed. There is no jump, by the way, in case you're wondering. Spacebar does nothing. Enjoying these mushrooms hanging out over here as always. There's always mushrooms in the games I play, it seems. Maybe I'm supposed to be picking a path. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, things are very colorful, very vibrant, very neon. That was cool, actually, yeah. Things are starting to look like heat maps all of a sudden. As we're getting into, wow, the infrared zone. There's a whole bunch of villagers, it looks like, walking around in their little town. Sort of look like no-face people. So I guess this is one of those types of games where after you get a sense for what you're supposed to be doing, you'll start to get better at it. And start to formulate strategies to get through each level. You know, like I said, Sonic style or something. You find a track to stick to. That is very colorful indeed. Wow. Okay, I'm enjoying looking at this. But I'm starting to get where the epilepsy warning is going to come in. The strobing, and there does seem to be maybe like a little bit of a fisheye effect that happens when you start to move very quickly. The ground appears to have some sort of a shader effect going on it, or at least, I don't know, some sort of a diffuser or other color scheme or something. I can't really tell. It's a little bit disorienting, actually. I can't quite understand what graphically is going on. I guess because there's no neutral. We're sort of propelling through a whole bunch of different processes, and I don't really know what the standard is. Wow, okay, it's really hard to move now. The faster I go, the more momentum I have as I hold down these keys. And I think I'm supposed to collect all 100 of these. And you'll notice there's a little bit of a chime every time I pick one up. Wow, okay, the color spectrum is phasing in and out of existence now. I think we've almost escaped the speed of light. I can almost see each time you hear that tone from picking one up, it almost sounds like a raindrop landing. That's a very abstract concept for me to express. There was a show, or not a show, but a video I watched a long time ago, like a VHS tape called Grokgazer, that featured what at the time was very groundbreaking computer-generated animation. Wow, that's pretty. It was what we would say nowadays that it sort of looks like a bunch of screensavers, but at the time there really wasn't much like that was available to look at, and there was one of those particularly that was synced up to a whole bunch of crazy synth triggers and stuff that was raindrops hitting a puddle. Wow, it's extremely hard to move now. And each time a raindrop would hit a puddle, it would make a tone. I'd actually like to make a film like that one day. That would be very cool. Although I'm not sure the legitimacy of such a thing at this point when there's so much graphically available to us as, you know, consumers of art and otherwise. So I missed one of these melons. I guess I'm just going to call them melons. I don't know what I think they just said they were balls before, but I'm calling them melons. I get to backtrack a little bit and look around, which is fine, because actually I'm sort of enjoying looking through all of this with the crazy color filters going on it. Okay, there's a rock in the way. It's a little hard to see the rocks now with all this junk. It's almost hard to actually just stay still. Like, let's just stop real quick and see what happens. I think we go back to fairly normal. But then as soon as we start to accelerate, we get this crazy rush of color again. Alright, I need to just take a second and sort of look carefully through each area. Not sure how long this game is. It may be quite short, in fact. I would like to see more of it, though. I don't think it should end right now. I would like to see more ethereal locations. Maybe get a chance to walk up those steps myself. Alright, where's the last melon, bro? What do you got for me? Nothing. Hyperspeed, ho! Okay. It's gotta be over here somewhere. They sneak a melon off into one of these corners? If you guys are sneaking melons away on me, I'm not gonna be too thrilled about that. There it is. I see it. Alright, we just gotta cross around, go back up to the gate. How did I miss that? That's really dumb. Sorry to make you guys wait while I look around for melons in this insane rainbow paradise here. There it is. Get it? Nope. Get out of my way. It's so slippery. Okay. Everything felt like freaking ice. Like, times a million. Imagine if you had, like, no friction when you walked. It would be so difficult. Like, if you've ever just tried to walk on ice, it's very, very difficult. Alright, what now? I'm stuck in this fence. It's not what I was after here. Alright, all orbs are collected. Now, escape? Alright, escape. The end. Oh. That was really short. I was kind of into that. How are you going to make all that detail and not make multiple areas? I mean, if you're going to put these guys walking around, you got to give a little bit more backstory to it. Alright, well, I guess this is a very short episode of Indie Impressions. These happen occasionally, because I don't know how long these games are when I start them up, but I'm still glad to experience it. And I think this one does belong in the collection. So hopefully you enjoyed this fairly psychedelic look at a slower speed of light. The title hints at such, you know, grandiose experience, but this was a little bit of a letdown. I mean, the concept is cool, and I like the colors, but the gameplay itself was a bit lackluster. I would have hoped to see a lot more to it in terms of the breadth of the experience, like the scope of it, and just more in terms of substance, gameplay-wise as well. I mean, collecting melons is cool, but it'll only take you so far, even with the awesome color scheme going on. So, I guess I'll just hit spacebar or click. Oh, okay, we get a time. There's a what happened button, which I believe every game should have. I can tweet my results. I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I'm going to click the what happened button and see where we go from there. Oh, okay. So it's going to actually explain the relative physics and light physics of what happened. Okay, that makes sense. I see heat. It's kind of a cute little cartoon. Very cool that they actually have some science behind this, and it's not just a pretty effect for the sake of being a pretty effect. I kind of like that a little bit more. Oh, you know what we could do very quickly? I won't go through the whole thing again, but I just want to preview this again with the desaturated color scheme on it. Less accurate. Alright, let's take a look. Because actually, a lot of times, desaturating colors can make them look pretty striking in a different way. Got hung up on the loading menu a little bit there. So actually, I'm going to probably edit that a little bit. Oh, and I should mention, this is another one of those Unity games that, for whatever reason, the mouse doesn't lock into the actual window when you run this in windowed mode. I'm sure it's fine when you're in full screen, but when you're in windowed, your mouse cursor is just floating around behind the window just on the desktop, which is really kind of annoying. Because I use object dock, so on the left side of my screen, I keep bumping into that, and the object dock keeps releasing. So I guess I do have to play this for a bit just to see what kind of crazy effects we can get into. I kind of forgot that it doesn't go full-blown until you pick up most of these. It is certainly a bit desaturated, I'll definitely grant them that. But how much does that help with the absolute, like, cacophony of colors that comes on later? Helps a little bit, although it just sort of makes everything look a little bit cheap. Like the... It almost feels like we've turned the detail down or something, even though we haven't. And for the most part, I mean, the 3D models in this look okay. They don't look amazing, but they look okay. If there was more to the game, I definitely wouldn't have had any issues. In fact, I probably would have highly recommended this one if it was a bit longer, but as far as just being a short little experiment, I don't know, you pretty much saw everything there is to see in this, and there's not much to see, unfortunately. Alright, well, I guess that's kind of that. It's desaturated, like I said it would be. So, yeah. There's no sky, either. It's just dark. Just thought I would look up, because I don't think I've really looked up yet. So I guess this will pretty much do it for a slower speed of light. Interesting, probably not recommended, like I said before, but still, was fun to mess around with for a minute or two. And as always, remember, head on over to the website, www.indie-impressions.com. Check out all the videos, the old ones, the new ones, the relatively new ones, the relatively old ones, you know what I mean. You can browse through them by genre, by distribution method. You can search them by developer, because I pretty much put all the developers in with the tags of the video. And then, you know, if you go through the tags, you can sort them by a bunch of other options there as well. And then, of course, my Facebook page, facebook.com/indieimpressions. If you'd like to head on over there and leave a like, then you will get every day's videos, as long as I can put them up on there. Which, lately, I've been having issues because Facebook doesn't seem to be enjoying YouTube's thumbnail system, but I think that's more YouTube's fault than Facebook. Regardless, I almost always do post every day there, and that way they can come to you instead of you having to come to me. Whatever's most convenient for you. And if you have any comments, criticisms, suggestions, or recommendation for a future game for the show, feel free to let me know over at my Twitter, at RockLeeSmile. All these links are in the description, so feel free to look through those and click to your heart's content. Things are starting to get a little bit more bright and colorful. Wow, okay, that was actually quite cool. Even with the muted colors, it still looks pretty cool, actually. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure you come back again tomorrow. We do one of these every single day without exception. I'm running close to like 210 videos without missing a day still. Even through freaking Hurricane Sandy, still didn't miss any days. I had a whole contingency plan for uploading, which thankfully worked out just right. If the thing would have kept me without power for like 3 more days or 2 more days or something, I would have run out of episodes, and then it would have been very sad, because getting this far and then breaking my combo because of a stupid hurricane is not the way I want to go out. Or because my stupid AdSense account or anything like that. That's a whole nother story. If you follow my Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. I try not to leave too much of that stuff, the baggage of my personal life and other happenstance and goings-on in the actual video content itself. But yeah, that's going to do it. Make sure you come back again tomorrow, guys. Taste the rainbow, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a lovely night.